It's going to be, yep, starting recording. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you for
sure.
joining. This is our first call to our world. And here we have David, who will be helping us understand his journey so far with the Our World project. And after we'll give him 10-15 minutes at the beginning to share his story. And afterwards, we will go ahead with questions. Thank you. David, do you want to go ahead and please share your story with us?
Yeah, sure. So like, I'm not sure how much you guys know about the background. I try to give like a very brief version of how I got here. Like, everyone, I'm not sure you watched the other video I done. I did this thing called Awakened Dream Synergy. And I go into more detail on that one, so that's a good one to watch after this, I guess. But basically, just so you know, I guess you could say I was given the label of autism, so on the spectrum. Like most people in IT, like neurodiverse, a bit different. It's a bit like, I'm not sure you've seen Ready Player One. Also bear in mind I've had 2 hours sleep, so that's why I'm a bit more struggling a bit more than normally would be. And I've always struggled with like communication and things, because part of the label of autism. But I do like yoga, meditation, and mindfulness daily. That really helps. But I kind of born in like 1980, and I grew up in the 1980s, and I was like always like a social recluse because of the autism, and got bullied a lot at school, and just didn't really. It was really a hard time for me. But then I found computers, something I was good at, and I got my first Spectrum when I was 8. Because I remember I was trying to sleep when I was like 6 or 5, and I remember hearing this dot matrix printer, like like keeping me up. It was my dad like doing programming, like pair programming with a guy in France on an old ZX Spectrum. And I was like interested in what it was. I was like, well, what's that? What's this noise keeping me up? And then so I got a Spectrum at 8, and then like, I played games in it with my brother, but I was more interested in how things work, and I was more interested in making it flash different colors, draw squares. The people remember the Spectrum, and you can just like, draw squares and different block colors. So very basic. And that's why I got into programming at 8. And then I wrote my first like text adventure game on Amiga, I think at 10. I got Amiga after the Spectrum. And then I built my first PC about 13, 14. And I just really took to computers. And before computers, it was Lego. I just used to build on Lego. I just like build entire cities at Lego, and you couldn't see the floor. My parents kind of regret buying a Lego for me in the end, because it's just like, it was always out. You couldn't like get across my bedroom floor, and people always cursing me as bits of Legos was just sticking on my feet, and Lego jabbing to your feet. I like building the actual sets, and then like just building your own thing, like just being creative. I think that's what helps encourage, develops your creativity. So then yeah, then I went to like got my A levels in maths, physics, economics. Went to university, got like a first class honours degree in computing informatics, and found something I was actually good at, and that's what really helped bringing me up my shell. Because before then I couldn't really talk. I was very introverted, and I stutter and mumbled. I'm still working on the communication, because yoga, meditation, mindfulness helps a lot helps to manage the symptoms, but doesn't completely like get rid of the label. But like we're all like on the spectrum in different degrees. People in IT are just a bit more along the spectrum, and I'm probably a bit further along again.
Mm-hmm.
But where it's going with this is like yeah.
David, did I lose David, or everybody else lost David too?
We lost him.
Okay.
Because it's
design meetings to try and decide how to like build something, and because I was like really shy, and my confidence was still really low, from my self-esteem was really low from what I've been through in my childhood. I should be quiet all the time. I said, oh no, I don't look stupid, so that's too obvious. I must be missing something. So I just sit there quiet, and then like about a month or 2 months later, they always come up with something that I thought of months ago, and it wasn't quite as good as the thing I had in my head. And I realized then that I was a bit different. I was like, okay, I just think everyone was really slow. I was like, well, why aren't they getting it? And I just try to explain things, and then they just not understand what I was talking about. A bit like our world and the OASIS API. Like, I'm glad I got Lumi, and people started to see it now in 2020, like clear vision. But I've been like talking about this for like since 2013, but no one really understood it until now. But then I went to Nokia, and then I was only going to take on with just a telephone interview. Basically, I learned how to program the Windows Phone at the time. It's at the time that Microsoft was acquiring Nokia, and this is how I kind of like started working for Microsoft indirectly, because I was working for Nokia, then it got bought by Microsoft, then I was working for Microsoft in a way. Um, and then I just learned the weekend like how to program Windows Phone, like downloaded all the tutorials, and then I knew more about the phone than they did. And then I remember working there the first week and had the main architects and senior engineers asking me questions about their own platform. I was like, well, you know this, you wrote it, but and I realized it's just a bit different. And then the boss told me to slow down because I was doing too much work, and he thought I was not checking my work properly. It would be like not high quality, but I couldn't find any bugs in my code. And then he said I was making the rest of the team look bad. So then he fired me in the end, and like yeah, and then it wasn't good because my agency, the reason he said he fired me was because of my performance. He didn't mention my performance was too high, not too low. You can't. I never heard of him being fired because the performance is too high. But then anyway, that's when I realized I want to work for myself. And I thought, well, I don't fit into this corporate world. It's all like for backstabbers and people said they got my back and all this politics. So I just want to work for myself. That's around like 2010, 2011. And that's when I first started getting an idea for our world. But I saw Minecraft in 2011 and I thought, oh, that's good. And I thought, I can't believe I didn't think of this. I was kind of thinking something similar, but not really, didn't really put much, wasn't getting serious about it. I love Lego, you know. I just thought, I'd be cool, make like a Lego game where you can build whatever you can imagine. And then I saw Minecraft, I was like, oh, that's similar to what I was kind of thinking. And I thought, I should start building a prototype, call it My World, because I thought I can do a lot much better graphics. And I saw it, my friend was showing me how it was very inefficient. It was software rendering, wasn't in hardware accelerated. It was maxing out the CPU memory usage. And I was like, I could build something better than this in like .NET, C#, and a thing called XNA, which is like a programming language for Xbox at the time. But it's now been superseded by Unity game engine, which is what our world's built on now. So Microsoft dropped XNA, bit of geeky background. But then in 2013, I'm not sure how many spiritual people are here, but I had an awakening in 12-12-12 in Avalon, which is Glastonbury, the heart chakra of Gaia. So that's quite symbolic. And then I started getting all these downloads and visions for our world and yoga for autism and the training course and all the things I've been talking about. I've had, none of these are new ideas, by the way. I've had all this in my head since 2013, since my awakening. But trying to ground and anchor it and get it manifest is taking me like 7 years. It was like 7 years on my own, like struggling to get funding and develop a team because it's so like out there. And so I'm so in the future, I had to wait for the world to catch up for the vibration of the planet to get to a certain level, which is now 2020, clear vision. Now people are finally starting to raise the vibration high enough to start to understand our world is the thing I've been banging on for about 7 years in my different circles. I have my spiritual circles who didn't get technology, and then my technical circles who didn't give a crap about saving the planet. So it's very hard to find people who are both. But only recently I found out the Holochain community, Lumi, and others, and people who are like spiritual, technical people like myself. So like, I just give a bit of background because have you seen a film called Ready Player One? And it's a thing called OASIS in there, and a guy called James Halliday. And I really recommend you watch the film and read the book as well, because the book is so much more detail. Because for years I was talking about my project and people kept saying, oh, was you inspired by Ready Player One? I was like, what's that? I never heard of it. And I never got around to looking at it. And one day I just remembered it. I thought, oh, I really should order that book that people were saying I should read. And ordered the book and I started reading on Easter Sunday. And you read the book, it's like all about Easter eggs. James Halliday leaves Easter eggs for people to find, like a treasure hunt, like in the film. They have the golden egg is the oasis at the end. And I've always been obsessed with Easter eggs. When I first had my first placement year, my degree, I built like this. It was like called OWL, and it's like a VBA, Visual Basic Applications, like talking to Excel spreadsheets, but also to an Oracle backend database. So it's extracting data from the spreadsheet and putting it into an Oracle database and doing data analysis and all sorts of things. But I wrote the whole thing in a week, in a 2-month project. So I got bored. So then I wrote a whole game, embedded a game inside it, and you hold down Control O and double click on the owl logo, and it brings up a little shoot. Like you got to shoot owls floating down the screen. Yeah, I know. Back then I wasn't vegan and I wasn't very spiritual, so it wasn't no blood in it, but it was just a fun game, like Duck Hunt. But I was using owls instead. And that's like that's a James Halliday thing I'm trying to say. Is like I always put Easter eggs in my games and apps. And as a kid, I always loved putting clues on Easter Sunday to hide the eggs around the house, like little cryptic clues, and you follow that to the next clue, and you get the next clue. And I love doing that. So like when I read James Halliday, it's so similar to me. And he was born in 1980, grew up in the 80s, had guitar lessons like I did. Autism, a social recluse. He liked playing Dungeons and Dragons. I played Shadowrun, which is similar to Dungeons and Dragons. I love RPGs. Always played as a wizard in RPG games, and always felt like a wizard, which is Anorak. That's his avatar in Ready Player One. And he used to play Gun and Bowl. Now he play on the arcades, and that was the swimming pool for me. Playing the arcades, I used to go swimming and then just stay in the arcades all day, playing like Golden Axe, Moonwalker, Final Fight, Street Fighter 2. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was my childhood. Like I loved those games. And Gauntlet on the Commodore 64. Yes, I always like my retro 80s gaming, and 80s pop music I like as well. So I'm saying all this. If you go and read the book, especially the book, and watch the film, you'll see all these same things what James Halliday had. It's so similar to my life. And then you read the book as well. It was like half of our world is in the Ready Player One book. All the downloads I was getting, I hadn't shared with anyone, and this guy had channeled it as well. Because sometimes sci-fi isn't sci-fi; it's sci-preview. It's just show. It's like a prophecy, what's to come. And I know it sounds crazy, and James, I think Louis is the only one who believes me so far. But very soon the world will realise that Ready Player One and James Halliday is not fiction. I'm telling you, it's a prophecy, and you're about to find that out. And I will show you the races like later on. Actually, the first, if you want to see the preview of it. So like, anyway, that's where I was going with that. And that's a bit background about me. So like I said, I'm sorry, this is the first thing, and I don't really know. I don't have a structural plan, so I'm just kind of talking from the heart to try to explain the whole OASIS Ready Player One thing. And
So,
like
David, if you don't mind me interrupting,
yeah,
so let's go to some practical questions many of us might have on the on the call over here. For example, can we talk a little bit more about the development journey of our world? Where has it reached? Where is it that, let's say, for example, someone like Lumi who wants to build a consciousness map on top of it, can they start doing it right now? Can you talk about practical stuff, technical stuff of our world?
So basically, we've been working the last 7 years has been like basically downloading it, doing R&D, building different prototypes, and planning, building the website, the social networks, just building the community, and writing the blogs, and just all my own. It's a lot of work for one person. This is why I'll be further ahead if I had the funding and team to focus on the coding. But that was a part of my journey to like build in resilience and surrender and trust, and preparing me for now. So now, like last year, so the technology, the tech's come a long way, because now I'm focused more on actual building. So like, I'm not sure if you've been following the updates in the Telegram group, but basically, I've just about to release the avatar karma system, and that's the first piece, and that basically will allow people to use to integrate that into existing apps and websites. So it's just like a RIA service, like a web API service, which is something you call in a. I'll show you later. If you're technical, you know what I mean. But it's just a web service you can call in the UI, like get avatar, get karma. So you can basically get people's avatars and get the karma and upgrade the karma. So any app or application can, because it's a universal standard. This is a standard technology, so that can be plugged in probably within the next week or two. I'm going to launch that. And that'll be running on Mongo initially, but it's going to be an example of the OASIS architecture as well, because currently we have EOS.io, Mongo, and Holochain providers developed. So this RIA service is capable of switching between Mongo, Holochain, EOS.io. So you can load and save your avatar from any of those sources, and it automatically replicates as well. So if you save it on one of the providers, it will automatically update and replicate to the other ones. It's like a network of networks. It's like sharding, basically. It's like an abstraction layer of the whole internet. So as more providers get added to this, the more powerful it becomes. The whole is greater than some of its parts. So it will like So you've got all different providers. So then if you just update your profile in one, a bit like holochain, like a bit like a gossip protocol. It'll then spread. It will then replicate itself behind the scenes synchronously to all the other providers. So basically, if the whole network went down, if all holochain went down and Mongo went down, then the OASIS API, anything that's built on top of it, will never miss a beat. Like because the more things it plugs into, the more powerful it becomes and the more redundant it becomes, because the only way to stop it is to blow up the whole world, and you blow up the whole world, you get more problems than the internet. So basically, it's the universal internet API I'm building. That's why the OASIS and Ready Player One is where it's going eventually.
So David, if I understand you correctly, in next 2 weeks, we would be able to see some kind of a first module of our world, that is the karma system, that others can start using. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the back end is basically done. What I need help with, I'm just finishing the back end today and tomorrow. I think within a few days I'll finish the back end, and then I've got to do some very basic web like UI for it, kind of things for your avatar and profile. So you go like I'm going to do just plain JavaScript initially, so it can be used everywhere. But then we're going to do Angular, Vue, and React. The other next three I want to do. So that's just controls you can drop in. So I want to kind of OASIS toolbox, like and you can drop it into like any of the existing like JavaScript like applications.
I think that's very exciting, David. So let's just open this round for others to have, if they have any questions. So anyone over here on the call, do they have any questions for David, or would they like to share their comments on their projects, how they are envisioning of using our world and with what David just shared? Does anyone want to go ahead and share something?
This is what it's like in dev camp. Like we ask in Holochain dev camp, they put it out to the community, and it's like a tumbleweed.
No, so let's do something. This is funny, David. So I think I always have a question for myself, and so Lumi, you have been quite a participant when it comes to on Telegram channel. You've been constantly sharing things. Do you have any questions for David? And what exactly are you both working on? Any practical things that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think, as I said at the previous call, that there's one missing very powerful element to be added on top of the karma system, which is this coherence, biofield coherence aspect. I can feel, I have detected what is one of my talents, which is moving creation forward. And I feel the coherence of the energy. We're living, as David is saying, we're living in Ready Player One. We're living in a video game, let's say, and that video game is made out of just energy. And I have one talent, which is I detect the energy when it's coherent. And I can feel that in this call, we're missing one piece, which is what I've been trying to inspire David, that needs to happen to really alchemize and ignite the thing. And it is, we are missing adding here the biofield component, so that that biofield component can really be come and acting from your heart, from your coherent state, can really be integrated in a karmic system to really power up everything. I believe this is what is just about, really about to ignite, because I'm bringing all the people for that, Mohan, Thornton, Florentina, and that's my only input. I don't want to disturb the flow of the call, but this is my own suggestion to David, that we have all those people almost ready, and I really want all of us to discuss this integration today at some point in that metaburn camp, because I think we are just about to ignite it all, David. Just about. We're missing the little thing.
Thank you, Lumi. I think the biofield, that's what David Lumi wants on top of the karma system. So let me just ask somebody else. For example, Luck Light, also on the call, had shared a very high level idea that he's working on eggs and Ethereum, and somehow he wants to use our world for that. Luck, do you want to jump in, ask a question, or at least share about your project? That would be helpful for getting the discussion going over here.
Yes, thank you. Um, yeah, it's I guess in relation to our world, I'm very into the golden egg concept in terms of reforming monetary systems. I'd like to eliminate them altogether, but otherwise, there's steps in the process, and that's what I see our world as a step in that process to get to back to life, right? So we need these tools, and it's very exciting times to see all these various developments taking place. My program is the New Seva Collective, and I'm the founder and chief everything officer, I call it. So similar to what David's doing, I'm doing everything by myself primarily, and it's okay because it's like with these decentralized systems, you just kind of got to kick it off, and then other people run with it, right? So that's a bit of the synarchy taking place here. And on what Lumi was discussing, I'm very interested in a identity system or a heart coherence technology that can help distinguish individuals from others in a not so static and limiting way. And so to add to that idea, I wanted to ask David, what do you see as the identity system related to your karma system that you're putting together?
Yeah, that's probably like it's linked to the avatar system. So the avatar and karma system is kind of part of the same thing, and also the single sign-on. That this is why I don't know, 2-3 days ago, I think it is, I kind of changed direction because you guys saw on the updates, I was very close to finishing the .NET like HDK, ODK, which is the whole digital twin of the solar system. It started off as a .NET HDK and it turned into a digital twin of the solar system. But I was going to come back to that topic in a minute, so a bit of pinning that for, because I go on a tangent about that otherwise. But I parked that and then I started working on this because I might have some potential funding coming in finally. And they basically want a single sign-on system, a platform, which is like interoperable and like they don't have to have all these different logins. So that's what I'm working on now, actually. That's why I'm just about to have the rear service working, which is when you can load and save your avatar with your karma system. But that's also your authentication, security, and a single sign-on and your identity system as well. And that's it's kind of like it's hard to explain. Like I kind of as I get into the part, I flow in the now in creative process. It's hard to explain. So I don't really. I have designs, higher level designs, but the actual, when you get into the details, I see it as encoding it. It makes sense. So now I'm moving into that part. I'm going to be using like a holochain, like, because it's got different providers. Holochain is like going to be the core provider. So by default, we always try to follow the way holochain does things. So they're the persona and identity management stuff. They've got some zones that does that. So I'm going to look at that and try and build out from there. But remember, it's also like platform agnostic, so it can store on any provider. So you're not going locked into just holochain. So this is kind of like the areas I'm just moving into. And like, if you ask me that question about 1 or 2 weeks time, I better give you a better answer, because that's exactly the area I'm just moving into now. Because it's like, hindsight's a beautiful thing, because I wish I'd done this before. I could have actually released the avatar karma system, what I'm doing now, about 6 months ago or more. But I was working on so many other parts because I was trying to release the whole system in one go. That was my thing. Now I realized I should have released it in parts, and I could have released the avatar karma system, because that was built like last year. I just didn't finish it. I didn't finish the actual public APIs to it. The actual internal mechanics was there. Yeah, I'm fine tuning it now and bug fixing, but I kind of parked it. And when you guys work on a massive project and you're overwhelmed, you're like, I work on this bit and I work on this bit. And when you haven't got a team, it's hard to know what to focus on first, because all of it was ultra high priority. Do I focus on Unity front end and make it look pretty for people to, get investors? Do I work on the interoperability, like the back end, to make the blockchain and holochain community happy? Do I work on the .NET HDK to open up .NET community? Do I work on a HoloNet client to help holochain? Do you mean there's so many parts of this project you're following, and I've worked on all bits of it. But my mistake was probably not focusing on one part and finish that part properly and then release it. I kept like building it in stages, but maybe everything's divine timing, so it wasn't time yet. I think now it's time to release parts. So maybe it's got to trust the universe that everything is exactly as it should be, and maybe the other parts couldn't be released until now because the rest of the world wasn't ready, to be honest with you. And the parts I'm using, like Holochain, definitely wasn't ready. You know, Holochain's been very in flux, and that's finally starting to stabilize. And Holo Network's finally going to be going beta soon, I feel. So I feel like I'm so linked, energetically linked to Holochain. So as they get beta, I'm going to go beta. So I'm now about to go into alpha release that they are. I'm actually mirroring them without realizing it because I'm so tied in to the same energy. So I think I'll be going beta by the end of the year, Q1 next year as well, and I'm alpha this month, I think.
So David, if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is that you are working on identity system as in the background, and in next month when we meet again, by that time at least you have an avatar karma system already rolled out for people to play with. While identity, we would have some significant updates on identity system.
Yeah, that's
in
a month's time. I'll have a lot to show.
Do you want to add anything else to your question?
Oh, yeah, I've been seeking some type of identity system like this because I'm primarily interested in the unidentified people on this planet. There's quite a lot, rural areas in various countries, and they're unbanked and they're undocumented. So yeah, I've been struggling to find a system that will allow them to, participate in the global unfoldment of these technological systems that will allow us to, synchronize and communicate and, work on new levels that we haven't done in the past. And I feel like our world is one of those integration base layers that allows things to, progress from it. It's its own thing, but it also allows so much to progress from it. And that's very exciting to see because I think a lot of the planet is still left out of the technology we're all using and very familiar with. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing more on the identity system and how David creates that. And with what Lumi's offering and the selfie field is very interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, like I just copy pasted here a text that I got from Mohan David in regards to this identification. Even though your biofield, which is your energetic field, is highly dynamic, there's a uniform pattern underlying it, your resonance signature. With the help of AI, including image processing, human-computer interaction, pattern recognition, and analysis of computer vision techniques will lead to distinguish this dynamic biofield of humans from large data set. Hence, human biofield can be used as a new security trait for individuals' identity, authenticity, and verification, which is just basically using a camera, boom, you get the individual ID of a person in the OASIS, basically. And it can be done first on a smartphone right now with the image, taking a selfie, and then just porting the same audiovisual software processing thing on the AR glasses. But that is something that Mohan was working on, and that's why I'm saying we are so close to really freaking unblock the power of the karmic system, but we are missing this biofield stuff.
That's what I was going to link into, like what Locklight and Lumi is saying. This goes back to what I was talking about, the HDK ODK that I was building. Like you saw, I got very excited with because it started off as .NET HDK, like I said, and then it evolved into ODK, and then into the digital twin of the solar system. So you see that the core part's called Star, because I was inspired by holochains, like Zomes and DNA, and how it's modeled over nature. And then Chris Larkey, you probably know as well, created a new map. He's got his holonic fractal mindset. So I was inspired by both of those things, and I kind of merged those two things with my own downloads. And then the output is what I've created. But that's what I really was hoping to show on this call. And I probably would have finished it if I hadn't changed direction. So by next October, the October call is going to be really exciting because I'm going to have like two things to show you. The Avatar Karma system will be live, and the first alpha of the HDK ODK, and the star creates the OAPS, and OAPS is either a planet or a moon. When you level 33, you can create a planet, but before that, you can only create a moon around our world. Our world is going to be the first planet created from the star. So the star is about to be born. It will create our world planet, and then all of the future OAPs, and the first is going to be Luck Light's Holding Tears app he's talking about, and there's and Mohan's Vibe Sophie API app, which is tied into what Lumi was saying, are going to be the first 2 moons. So it's going to be the star, our world planet, 2 moons, and then the Justice League Academy is the 3rd moon, and that's kind of like a training course platform to like basically get all the developers they need. So it probably, but now you probably see I've been crying out for .NET and Unity developers, and I thought the best thing to take advantage, because I've had this idea for since 2013, but with COVID-19 and lockdown, all the homeschooling, it's an even better opportunity. Everyone's sat at home on the computer, so I want to get everyone, give them all free training, and then give them all like, and the good thing about the training course, you actually learn and build on our world itself. You don't like learn, because I don't, IT training courses, you work on some dummy application and you just throw it away, and it's a waste of time. You need previous skills, previous experience, and it costs money to do it. But I'm offering all at free. Anyone can join. I created it for autistic people initially, but for disabled people, homeless people, kids on the streets, unemployed, all people disadvantaged basically. And now with the current climate and economy crisis, there's going to be even more people who are like going to sign up. So I've got a good feeling that's where I'm going to find all the talent, because there's going to be so much hidden talent and geniuses who just need someone to give them a chance, because all they need is someone to like help them believe in themselves again and help find the gift for the world. Everyone's got a gift for the world, and just like hold their hand again. And that's, I'm going to launch that moon. So very exciting. This next one or 2 months, I'm going to rolling out all my stuff is starting to manifest. You're going to see the Star HDK ODK system launched with the Our World planet, with the Luck Light's moon, Mohan's moon, Justice League Academy's moon, and I think a global healing network moon. And that allows us to heal people around the planet, distance healing. You heal planets, people, you can heal the whole planet. You can heal nature, people, animals. I know it sounds a lot to take in, so I won't go into all of it now, but a lot of very exciting things I've been working on the last 7-8 years are all about to manifest and come out all together in the next few months. And then that's when the whole Superman thing probably will happen. Because it's going to light a fire up on this world. It needs it. I'm about to light the fire. This is the ignition point. I know it sounds a lot to take in, because I know it's a lot to I'm sharing, but it's a very exciting time, David, to be following us.
If I can understand it correct, HDK, ODK, Avatar, Moons, and those exciting things will be coming in a few months to come. We are looking forward to it. I think Debbie also had a question. Debbie, do you want to go ahead at least give your background so that we can hear you, where you're coming from, your project, and then maybe ask your question, please?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, because I couldn't get my video to work, maybe because I'm at the camp. So I was, my background is an AI consultant. I retired from IBM. I've been working with Lumi as he's developed these ideas and presentations for the biofield. I love it. I can't wait to try it. And this is my maybe second or third time listening to David about the OASIS. What a great story. So I'm looking for a key. I'm going to drive my car backwards and see what we can find.
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Debbie.
Good part in the film. Yeah. I love Back to the Future, by the way, as well. I love Back to the Future. That's one of my favorite films. So it's just that film. I love the 80s. I love everything to do with 80s. That's the best time, wasn't it? 80s and 90s. All the best films and music came out then, and games. And then 2000 came, and then everything went downhill, I think, after year 2000. Right. But,
So, David, also, we are going to be running out of time in 8 minutes. So does anybody else have any questions? Jamie, Brett, those who haven't spoken up, Jason from Canada, do you have anything that you would like to add? All right. So it seems like we had quite a participation from Lark, Lumi, Debbie, and that's awesome. And Lumi, biofield generator, we are looking forward to what that is and how we integrate it with our world. And David, what we can do now is just try to bring this to a close instead of just going on, because we're recording this and many of them would be watching it online. So let's not give them too much to watch, give them precise thing to watch so that they can make good use of their time. And it would be, so do you want to go ahead and summarize and bring it to a close so that we can conclude this call and meet next
Yeah,
month?
so basically, I'm just saying it's a really exciting time to be finding the Our World tribe now, and like I said, the whole world is the Our World team. So like that's why it's called Our World. So I want everyone to take responsibility for our beautiful planet. So it's not really my project; it's our project. Hence the name, Our World. So I just want to feel it's not just technology; it's a movement, and that's why I hope you guys can help do that. And just basically, it's a movement to regenerate our planet and to find other co-creators, so we all come together. I mean, and I think Our World is like the container. It's like the OASIS. It's the thing that plugs everything together. It's like the super glue, and it's just like Lego pieces. So I've got like the architecture and some gamification components, but 90% of Our World is the rest of the community. Isn't me. It isn't me. It's the whole. So everyone else's piece that plugs into it. Like people in this call all got a piece for it, and like I'm working. I know Brett and Luck and Lumi. So they're like some of the 3 founding pieces are going to be in it. Their parts are going to be in there, but there's many more will coming. I'll keep getting built it and they will come. So just keep spreading the word really, and just tell it now's a good time to join. Looking for Unity developers, like I said, C# developers. Obviously, any funding people can find. We've got a crowdfunding page. Want to donate to this, yeah, just want to like get on board. And it's open source as well, so like anyone can like look at the code and create a fork and start helping. And I created tickets in there as well. If you're a developer, go on GitHub. There's a thing called issues, and I call them crests. And that's why I'm launching the avatar. That's the reason why I'm launching the avatar system. I'm gamifying development, so you gain karma points, and we win superhero badges for completing crests in the game. And the first quest you can do right now are on GitHub for developers. So I'm gamifying it. So you're going to get crypto as well and other financial rewards later. But right now, all I can give you is karma, which is the currency of Our World. And that's why I'm going to create this system. So I'm going to create a quick web portal front end, so people can start actually building the avatar and occurring karma. And if you spread the word and get people to come to the website and sign up and join a Telegram group, you gain karma that way, And if you start doing good deeds, like now we can really start pushing the karma system. So that's ground zero. Like Lumi said, it's right. It's time to launch a karma system now and get that out there, and then start building the ecosystem, and then and then HTK and OTK will come out, open holochain to .NET and Unity ecosystems, and enable anyone to build a holochain OASIS application with no programming knowledge. It's a 4th generation language. It's very simple. Holochain right now is so hard. It's such a steep learning curve to build something in Rust. Even for me, I struggled with Rust. But what I'm building, you'll see when I demo it in October, it's so noddy. Anyone can build a holochain application after what I really launch. And then that's an Art and Eric that finally, and holochain community realized what the hell I've been banging on about. So I thought, talking about something is one thing, but building it and showing them is something completely different. This is what I've been rambling on about for the last 2 years to you guys.
Yes, David.
And now are you going to come and like join? Yeah, great. Let's get this party going. So I think that's how we're going to close.
So David, also 4 minutes are left. So I'll just summarize what you were just mentioning. People, this is our world, our project. So please participate, inform everyone about the story and what David is looking for: Unity, C# funding, C# developers, funding. And he is also trying to look for developers who can just find bugs at this present moment. That is also appreciated. And by next month, he would be having some demo ready for us. So David, I hope the glitches that we had today for like the Zoom and everything, I have to apologize everyone for that. It may be a lack of coordination on my and David's part. And at the same time, by next time, we should have some kind of a demo for the group to view and start talking about and building stuff on. So anyone would like to add any other comments before we conclude? Otherwise, we can just wave and then say goodbye. All right, then I think if nobody's speaking up, then I'll just say let's wave and then goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Have a good day. See you next month. Take care. Same time. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you for coming, everyone. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 See you.